Visiting Interlaken, Switzerland can be so expensive, but it doesn't have to be. Today, we're going to show you the top 14 cheap and free things to do here in Interlaken.
If we haven't met, we're Jana and Brett, and we just love being in Switzerland. In fact, we've been here more than 10 times in the last 10 years, and we're spending 3 months in Interlaken this summer because we found unique ways to travel Switzerland on a budget. Now, we know that you also want to visit Interlaken without breaking the bank, which is why we're sharing these 14 free and cheap activities with you.
When we say free, we mean that there are no paid entry fees, and you can reach all of these sites by public transportation for completely free with the Interlaken guest card or by walking. In case you didn't know, when you stay in the Interlaken area, you'll receive this guest card, which gives you free local transportation in addition to some other benefits.
And when we say cheap, we mean it'll cost 10 franc or less per person. But to make this whole experience even easier for you, we've created a map with all of these locations pinned on there. But enough talk, let's get started. The items on this list are in no particular order, but we are starting with one of our favorite spots because of the view. Unterseen is just a short walk outside of Interlaken. They think this was built as a fortress in the 1200s, and although now it's just in ruins, it's still a super fun place to hike around and get great views from the top. You can also take the trail just behind the ruins to a viewpoint with a sweeping overlook all the way to Lake Brienz.
Less than a 5-minute walk from Unterseen is our next stop. Food is one of the best ways to experience a new culture, and sampling the local drinks is like a tour for your taste buds. That's why Rügenbrau makes this list. This brewery is over 150 years old, and there are usually about a dozen different beers you can try. There's also a distillery, and one of their whiskeys is aged in the ice all the way up at the top of the Jungfraujoch. Now, touring the facility is not what we would call cheap, but for just a small price, you can taste one of their whiskeys or buy a beer on site.
If you've researched things to do in Interlaken, you've probably seen how popular paragliding is. And while I'm sure that's an incredible experience, it is pretty pricey. But you can still enjoy it by watching them fly above Interlaken and land here in Hohe Mata. So grab a bench, put on your sunglasses, and enjoy the show.
Watching hang gliders is hard work, so check out Velo Cafe for a caffeine kick. If you followed us over the past few years, you'll know that I love to try coffee everywhere we go. And this is my favorite cafe in Interlaken, just a short walk from the Interlaken West train station. Velo means bike, and the inside of the cafe is decorated with all kinds of bikes and bike racing gear. Now, this cafe isn't Swiss. It's actually owned by a couple from New Zealand, but the Italian-style coffee and vegan food are really, really good.
If you're looking to visit a charming village, then come here. This is Unterseen. It's just across the river from Interlaken, and it's kind of like an old town Interlaken too. Some of these beautiful buildings date back to the 1400s, and we've seen so many different events here in this square, from an old-fashioned car show to a food market and even live music. But one of our favorite things to do here is every Sunday morning we come sit on a bench and enjoy a pastry
from Moeller Bakery. If you want to eat where the locals eat, then this is the bakery for you. Even though it's closed right now, the line is often out the door and onto the bridge. But trust me, it moves quickly and it's totally worth the wait. We've tried a lot of different pastries here, but my sweet loving self is always up for a Schoki-Gipfel, which is a chocolate croissant, or a healthy portion of Zopf. Wait, you've never tried Zopf? Oh my gosh, come have some. It's known here as Sunday bread, but I say it's approved for every day of the week.
Have you ever dreamed about walking behind a waterfall? Well, now you can, and you might just have the whole place to yourself. This is Mühlbach Falls, just a short walk outside of the village of Wilderswil, which you can reach by bus from Interlaken. The shady trees and cool water make it a comfortable spot no matter how hot the weather is, and if we're honest, it's just super cool that you can walk behind a waterfall. If these free and cheap things have been helpful so far, then hit that like button. It helps us know that you actually like our video, but it also helps other people find our content too.
Wilderswil is one of many charming villages in this area, but we like to come here for views of the beautiful blue waters of Lake Brienz. No, we didn't color edit these videos. It really is this blue. In fact, it's such a unique color that we like to refer to it as Brienzer blue. Find a cafe or restaurant, grab a drink, and enjoy the views. This makes for an ideal rest stop after number 9 on our list.
If you're up for a long walk along Lake Brienz and want to see another impressive waterfall, then take the hike from Wilderswil to Giesbach. Giesbach Falls are hundreds of meters tall and cascade down over 14 different steps. Like Mühlebach Falls, you can walk behind them, but you'll probably have to share the experience with a few more people. Right next to the falls is the Grand Hotel Giesbach, and although it'll cost you more than 10 franc to eat a meal there, the drinks are pretty reasonable. In fact, the last time we went, I had a glass of water from the waterfall, and it was so cool. But most of the time when we visit, we just bring a picnic and enjoy the view. Do note that you can walk for free back to Iserwald, or you can pay to take the ferry.
Last year, I think the ladies at this bakery knew me by name because we came here so often. Steininger is a neighborhood bakery, and they have tons of breads, traditional baked treats, and a whole section of artisan chocolate. My advice, try the Haselkuchen, which is hazelnut cake, and the quiche. But don't walk out of here without a nice loaf of bread to pair with all those fresh farm foods we'll be telling you about later.
Your Interlaken guest card allows you to ride the bus for free all the way out to the St. Beatus Holen Caves. And here you get a double view, one of the cascading waterfalls and the other of the beautiful Lake Thun. Note that you will have to pay to go inside of the caves, but it's free to enjoy the gardens.
It's no secret that Swiss chocolate is really, really good. But if you're traveling Switzerland on a budget, buy your Swiss chocolate from the grocery store. You can find all the top brands at a discount compared to what you'd pay at a gift shop. And yes, you can still buy the stuff in really fancy packaging, but if you want to snag a cheaper deal, just go for the regular stuff. And while you're here, you should totally try my favorite spread to slather all over bread, crackers, or anything else for that matter. Ovomaltine. It's basically like a chocolate version of Nutella, but slightly crunchy and way better in my opinion.
If the weather is cloudy and I can't be gazing at the mountains, then you'll often find me here, wandering the streets of Wilderswil. This village is on the train line between Interlaken and Lauterbrunnen Valley. Most of the houses here are built in that beautiful traditional Swiss architecture, and some of them are even more than 400 years old. Now, a lot of locals live here, so you often see families outside, hanging out in the backyard, and plenty of vegetable gardens too. Also a tip, if you're trying to travel Interlaken on a budget, it might be cheaper to stay here in Wilderswil than in Interlaken, especially if you book on Airbnb.
You can't visit Switzerland without trying some authentic Swiss cheese. Our favorite place to buy Alp cheese, plus eggs, sausage, jam, and other delights, is from Farm Fridges. They're dotted all over the area and based on the honor system. You simply take the items you want and leave your cash in the money box. In fact, visiting Farm Fridges is one of the best ways to experience Interlaken. Check out our Swiss food tour video where we show you all of our favorite spots, complete with a map so you can go there too. And if you want more tips on how to travel Switzerland on a budget, watch this next. See you there.